Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us here for Crime 2 News at 6. I'm Whitney Ward. Mark has the night off. Well, just as spring break travel is getting underway, a labor dispute at Alaska Airlines has forced flight cancellations up and down the West Coast. Tonight, we have been tracking flight cancellations out of Spokane International Airport, as well as Seattle and Portland. Crime 2's Kyle Simchuk is joining us now live from the airport. And Kyle, what are you seeing there at this hour?
Well, Whitney, fortunately, no problems, and part of that reason is that a lot of these Alaska Airlines flights from Spokane to Seattle or Portland, they're operated on those smaller prop planes. Those are actually operated by Horizon Air pilots, and they're not the ones picketing right now. So if you can look at the departures and arrivals screen, really no issues, just 2 flights delayed. That's a Southwest flight and an American Airlines flight to Dallas delayed until 9:39 tonight. So this morning, Alaska Airlines pilots picketed across the country. By 10:45 this morning, 73 flights were canceled at SeaTac. Alaska said in total it canceled more than 120 flights across the country. That's about 9% of its total flights. Pilots from Alaska Airlines say they are underpaid and overworked, but they aren't just asking for more money. The 3 big demands are flexible scheduling, quality of life, and job security.
It's certainly longer than it should take for a pilot group that basically got this airline through the pandemic. We deserve better than that. This contract should have been done considerable time ago. It's time for them to get serious about it. It's time for them to engage us at the negotiating table.
And the union has been trying to strike a deal for 3 years. In all, 1,500 pilots from across the country took part in the pickets today. So if you are traveling over spring break, just make sure to check your phone, check your flight status. And a reminder, masks are still required in airports and on airplanes. Reporting live from the Spokane Airport, Kyle Simchuk, Crime 2 News.
Kyle, thank you very much. And drivers made it through the first week of major construction impacts to traffic at Thor and Freya at the lower South Hill in Spokane. Many, though, still kind of getting the hang of things. So to help clear things up for us, here is Crime 2's Amanda Rowley.
If you've traveled through Thor and Freya this past week, you may have experienced various levels of stress due to the congestion and having to navigate a new route through the area. So to help, I'm going to show how traffic at this point should be flowing through the area.
Let's begin with the northbound route on Freya, as though you're leaving the South Hill. It's pretty straightforward. As Hartson turns into Freya, drivers will merge into a single lane. Traffic remains in this lane until drivers approach Sprague to turn either left or right. If you want to go southbound on Thor to get on the South Hill, this is the route you'll take from Sprague. Since Thor is closed, Freya is now a 2-way street. Southbound traffic will travel down Freya and take a right at 5th Avenue. This gets you back onto Thor and up the hill onto Ray. Now let's look at the route to the Westbound I-90 on-ramp. If you're driving from the South Hill, the route doesn't change much aside from merging into a single lane on Freya. Then drivers take a left at 2nd Avenue straight to the on-ramp. The route from Sprague to the on-ramp is a bit different. Again, Thor is closed, so traffic will travel southbound on Freya. Then drivers will take a right on 2nd Avenue, following the road to the on-ramp. To be clear, the Thor-Freya eastbound on-ramp is still open to traffic at this time. The city of Spokane has 32 different traffic plans for construction on Thor and Freya. So keep in mind, these detours are subject to change as work progresses. Amanda Rowley, Crime 2 News.
All right, let's talk weather now. It's Friday. There's a lot going on in the inland Northwest, so we want to immediately go outside to Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Legoo, just as we talk about how the weekend is finally shaping up for us. Hi, Jeremy.
Hey, Whitney, and I think the weekend's going to be pretty good despite rain and wind making their way back into the forecast. Right now we sit at 50 degrees and it is dry. I know what I'm doing right after the show, and that's firing up the old barbecue because it is a beautiful evening with some calm wind and somewhat chilly temps. I'd recommend throwing on the coat. 51 in Coeur d'Alene, 48 in Sandpoint, and temps in the mid-50s as you make your way into central Washington. This kind of just a little bit of radar feedback, maybe a sprinkle, but for the most part, we're in clear mode on the radar, and that means it's picking up everything. We're going to find a couple of stray showers over the Cascades, but a bulk of our moisture moves in overnight. Early Saturday morning, we get hit with it. Maybe a couple lingering showers through the afternoon, but all in all, not looking too bad. The rain starts overnight and continues into tomorrow morning. By the time we get into the second half of the day, should catch some breaks in the clouds as temps top out in the mid-50s.
All right, Jeremy, thank you. This year's SkyFest is now just over a month away. Fairchild Air Force Base hosting that showcase of America's air power every year. But coronavirus had other plans. You know, they haven't had a SkyFest since 2019, but this year it's coming back. SkyFest 2022 will be held on May 14th and 15th. It is completely free and marks 80 years for Fairchild and the 75th anniversary of the U.S. Air Force. The Thunderbirds will headline SkyFest, but that's actually not the only reason to go.
But we have amazing airmen on this base that can't wait to show you their capabilities, but also all the other folks that are coming in town to show you their capabilities and the airplanes they bring. And so they're excited. And the big thing is we want to recruit the next generation. So no better way of doing that than actually show them what they can join.
So on top of 15 aerial performers, there will also be a kids zone, vendors, and other exhibits. Gates will open at 9 a.m. on Saturday, May 14th. Governor Jay Inslee signed the state's supplemental budget today that is worth more than $64 billion. The money will go to a wide range of programs, including behavioral health and pandemic aid. No general tax increases are in this plan, and also no across-the-board tax cuts. And 1 week after Idaho Governor Brad Little signed a bill banning abortions after 6 weeks, a lawsuit has now been filed against it. Planned Parenthood filed a petition asking the Idaho Supreme Court to block that newly signed bill. They're calling it unlawful and unenforceable under the Idaho Constitution. Governor Little also vetoed a bill to change how money is allocated to primary and secondary schools in the state of Idaho. The measure would have switched the formula used to distribute funds from average daily attendance to student enrollment. Little says, though, he doesn't want to commit to a change until he can get more information and can explore other ways of boosting education funding. Still ahead tonight, our town is booming and Spokane will soon see a brand new stadium. After the break, we're checking in on the demolition of Joe Albee and what could go up in its place.